Welcome traders to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien. In today's stream, we're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin. Currently having a red day here, down about almost 2% here. After we just had another bad red day here the day before. So are we on our way down to lower prices here because of because of what Bitcoin is trying to do right now? I don't know. We'll try to figure that out here on the live stream. We are coming up on a 618 golden pocket here at 74K. You would think that there should be like a bounce here off this area, that we should get a rejection to the downside and actually come back up to a higher price here. If we can start catching some bids, like this is an idea. Like we should get a reaction over here. Okay. I am trying to play for a reaction here. I actually went long on Bitcoin about an hour or 2 hours ago. Before we started this live stream here. So I'm trying to play the oversold bounce and a reaction over here. But I think the main news is why Bitcoin decided to have another red day here is because Donald Trump is not confident about getting a peace deal done soon. And it's insane because like earlier this weekend he said we were 95% of the way there, but now he's saying that they're negotiating on fumes. Iran is intent. I don't know how he ends up speaking on their behalf, but Trump says that Iran is very much intent. They want to make a deal. If they want to make a deal, wouldn't they have done that already? All right, but anyways, what really got the markets on the edge and worried about what Trump might do next and what might happen with Iran is that we had Trump said that so far they haven't gotten there and we're not satisfied with it, but we will be either that or we'll have to finish the job, which means that they might go back to war again. And I think that's what spooked the markets today. But to be honest with you, I don't think Trump wants to go to war, and neither does Iran. But they're playing a waiting game between the two, and Trump thinks that he can outweigh Iran. Iran thinks that they can outweigh Trump and have him feel the pressure during the midterm elections. And it probably might end up being that way, guys. We might just see the Strait of Hormuz being shut down because apparently America can't get the job done. We can't actually, with the strongest military in the world, we can't even open up a strait because Trump's not willing to actually do what's necessary. And I don't really want to have to go down that route. But I understand, like, no one wants to go to war, but when you start something, you got to finish it. And it sounds like he's not willing to finish it. So what do we get in turn? We're going to get inflation. We're going to see oil prices stay high because we can't get the amount of oil that we need to actually fill up our gas tanks and gas pumps here. There's going to probably be some oil shortages around the world. And that is not good for the price of Bitcoin and the price of crypto, because how are people supposed to pay for a Bitcoin when they're over here struggling to pay for gasoline to get to their job? Okay, so yeah, you got that. And then there's also the other costs. Like if it costs extra money to fill up a gas tank for, the trucks that are delivering food to the grocery store, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to pass that cost along to the consumer. We're going to get inflation again. Then the Federal Reserve is going to have to raise interest rates instead of lower interest rates, and we're gonna probably end up getting a recession because of inflation. Like it's most likely leading that way, and that's why the markets don't like that, right? They don't like the fact that we're getting inflation again. So yeah, that's pretty much the way I'm reading this, and the way the markets are starting to read this is that we're gonna see inflation again. Even though we were doing so well last year getting inflation down, and they even brought interest rates down because of that, this whole little fiasco in the Middle East is causing inflation now. So that's why you see price of Bitcoin at 74,400. It's supposed to be like an asset that benefits from inflation, but that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen here. I still think that Bitcoin and crypto trades like technology stocks, and if the technology stocks are getting affected by, inflation, then you'll see Bitcoin and crypto get affected by inflation. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here on the charts. If Bitcoin continues to go to lower prices here, we do got a 100 moving average that could act as support here at $72,900. That blue line right there. Okay. And if I fire up the VRVP indicator here, all the levels look below 72K. Would be about this high volume node here. You got some high volume here between like 71,500 to like 70,500. But there's an even higher volume node if you take into account all the trading that we did here in February and March. You got the point of control at $68,300 here. That's where I would try to take profit on short, because I think there should be at least for sure a bounce at that level there. Because all these people here that were buying and selling Bitcoin, or at least all the people that were buying Bitcoin here, they're just going to be at break even. They're not going to be anxious to sell until we lose 68,300. And then there could be a whoosh down to lower prices, you know, at least down to 60K, but could be further than that. But we'll take it one day at a time right now. Right now, for my day traders and swing traders, we're just eyeballing the Fibonacci levels here. We're also looking at this 100 moving average that's below us on the daily time frame at 72,900. And then we're also looking at the 0.5 retracement here at 71K. So there should be some support between 71 to like 73K is what I'm seeing here. Okay. And that's why I think even right now there could be some support at 74K, and that's why I'm trying to play the oversold bounce right now for like a scalp long on Bitcoin. Because you know what, I missed a short earlier today, so I'm not gonna just jump on a short just because I missed it. I'm gonna wait until the price comes back up again a little bit more, and then I'll try to enter a short. But as of now, I just entered the short. I entered a long here on Bitcoin at 74,400 myself. So I'm kind of like close to break even on that long right now. So anyways, let's take a look at the requests here, because we do requests. We check out the stocks and cryptos that you guys want to take a look at here. And I know I got a few requests here on YouTube. Let me go say hi to the people on YouTube. We got Lauren A in the chat. Good to see you, Lauren A. We got Crypto Cruise. We got DZ. We got Stella Persians. Good to see you all over here on YouTube. And looks like we got some requests here. Looks like Crypto Cruise wants to look for a short on XLM. And then DZ says, what's up with the market? We bleeding, bro. I think I kind of covered that. Donald Trump is not sure if we're actually going to get a peace deal after he was 95% sure that we're going to get one about 2 days ago. Like this weekend, he was like, oh yeah, 95% of the way there. And now today, he's like, I don't know, we might have to go back to finishing the job. And he's over here saying that he's not worried about the midterms, but you know what? Probably because he's not up for election, but it is going to affect him. Like he's trying to brush it off, saying that he's not worried about it, but I'm pretty sure he is, because if the Republicans lose the midterms, then that makes it difficult for Donald Trump to do anything in the next 2 years. If the Democrats get the House and they get the Senate, then basically Donald Trump becomes a lame duck president for like 2 years. And I'm pretty sure he does not want to be a lame duck president, but that could end up happening here if we don't get things finished here with Iran. And let me see what you guys are saying here on TikTok as well. We got Ozzy, the crypto goat, in here. Good to see you, Ozzy. You said looks like a head and shoulders on Bitcoin. Is that what you're alluding to here? Possibly, it could be head and shoulder. I see a little bit of maybe a left shoulder here. Is that what you're talking about? And then of course the head, and then a right shoulder maybe, and then that sends us down to lower prices. I think just like we went up, you know, in a steady fashion here, we might come down in a steady fashion. We might get like an upside down V going on over here and come right back to the prices that we're at back here in March. Okay, so we could probably see like 66K, 68K here all over again. But I don't think it's just going to be like, you know, a complete drop. I'd be very surprised if we do drop, you know, like a rock. It's always possible, especially if they start the war again tomorrow. Then yeah, you'll see like a nasty candle that brings us down, probably like down 10% in one day. Okay, but I think they'll be like, oh, you know, Donald Trump will say something nice about, you know, the peace deal tomorrow, and then we'll bounce up to like 76, 77K, and then, you know, that'll leave us good for the weekend. And then over the weekend, you know, there might be some fighting or some shooting going on, And then it's like, well, it looks like the ceasefire is over because they're firing at each other again, and then that brings us back down to lower prices one more time here. So I see that happening over the next week or two. So there'll be some ups and downs, but I think the overall direction is down because I'm not sure if Bitcoin can get back above 80K unless we actually get a peace deal here. I think that was the whole reason why we were going up in the first place in April and May, is because we thought the ceasefire, we thought the fighting was over and that Iran was going to sign a peace deal. But now it's looking like Iran's going to try to see if they can play Trump, you know, string him along as much as they can. And I think the markets are starting to figure that out too. Like, oh man, we're actually not going to get a peace deal. Go back down to lower prices again. Let's see. We got Niso in here. Says, you think Bitcoin is just a bounce up and stable up and down for a bit? I think we'll get maybe like another. Cause it doesn't always go straight down. Like, look, I mean, we had a few bad days here. We had like a one bad week here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles. But remember, I mean, it doesn't go straight down. You do get green candles every now and then, and then maybe some more bad news, and then some green candles here, and then more red candles. And that, I'm expecting, you know, today to be, you know, because everybody's being too bearish. Like, I saw a guy on Discord saying, you know, short, short, short. You know, he's screaming shorting the market. I'm like, anytime someone gets that confident about shorting, might be a good time. Usually the market tries to do the opposite, right? There might be some late shorts showing up for the game, and then we start taking out the stop losses and liquidity above us with the shorts that got in too late. That's why I wasn't trying to short today, because I would have been getting in late myself, and they would come and try to get my stop loss. So I decided to go long, right? It's almost like you got to think opposite of what you would want to do. And that guy that was screaming short, 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 that was kind of like right near the bottom of where Bitcoin went today, was at $74,200. Is when they were screaming short, 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 and I was like, I'm gonna do the opposite of that. I'm gonna actually do long, because I don't want to enter a short. I don't want to enter a short near support, near the Fibonacci support here. We got the Fibonacci at 74K, saying that there should be support here, or at least a bounce, right? But then let's see. Let's go look at the moving averages here. Is there any moving averages here? I mean, we got on the daily time frame. There's not really. We're kind of like in between the 50 and the 100. Pretty sure if I go in the 4 hour, there might be some support. I may be wrong now. No, not the 4 hour. Not the 1 hour. No. So we don't have any moving averages support. We go into the 15-minute time frame. You know, what ends up happening usually is we end up coming back to the white line, the 21 EMA. So when we get too far down, which is what I saw early this afternoon, I know there's always like a little bit of a bounce back, right? To get back to that white line, and then maybe you could try entering the short at that white line there. This is the 15-minute 21 EMAs at 74,700. Might be an idea to try to take a short if that's what you want to do. Okay. I might take partial profit on my long and then just move my stop loss to break even. I'm not sure if I want to enter a short right then and there. I think an even better area to short if you want to short Bitcoin is wait until it gets up to this green line here. That's your 50 moving average, 74,900. Okay, 74,976 is where it's sitting at. That'd be a better area to try to take a short, right? Because you gotta think of it like this: if you were to flip the chart upside down, which I'm gonna do right now. Remember, now we flipped it upside down, so it'll be like trying to long. Would you long at the top? No, you wouldn't. And that's why I wouldn't short the bottom either. Okay. You would probably wait until we come back to the white line and try to enter a long, right? Or try to come down to this green line and try to enter a long. It's vice versa when you're in a bear market, or if you're going down, right? You don't want to short right here. You want to wait until you get back up here a little bit, you know, get some breathing room, and then short the white line, or either short the green line here on the 15-minute time frame. That's what I would do. So I decided to long here instead, because I always, you know, not always, but I felt as though I had a feeling, especially after getting this trap long signal here, that we should be coming back to that white line at the very least. Okay, so you can see that we do that every now and then, right? We lose the white line, and then we come back to the white line. We lose the white line, the 21 EMA, and then we come back to the white line. And sometimes we get above the white line and we get right to the green line, which would be, you know, in this case, take profit on the long and then try to enter a short. So I'm waiting for us to come back to that white line, take some profit on the long, maybe take more profit if we go to the green line, and then maybe entertain the idea of trying to short it if we get above that green line there. All right, let me move on to the requests here. We did have a request for XLM for a short. That's what we got here here on YouTube. My buddy Crypto Cruz was saying short XLM with a question mark, so he wants to know, should we short XLM? Let me go into the daily time frame here. What is XLM? Oh, okay. So we covered XLM a few times here, I believe, over the last couple of days. I believe Crypto Cruz has been requesting it here. I'm going to throw on the VRVP indicator and show you what the high volume levels are like here for stellar lumens. We do have a point of control high volume node here at 0.158 pennies. We're about a penny above that. There should be support there. So if you were to enter a short, you might not get much out of it. You might only go down 1 penny, make a higher low, and then still go to higher prices here for stellar lumens. Keep that in mind. I'm not sure how lucrative a short would be. Okay, unless we break below this blue line, then your short becomes even more lucrative, where you can see this thing come down to like maybe, I did have a high volume node here at 14.5 pennies here, so maybe you could short it from 16.5 to 14.5, and then of course you do got the value area low, this white line at 13.5. Okay, but I understand it. You know, you got a couple of green candles here. It does make sense, and you're at the top of the green candle. It does kind of make sense to entertain the idea of entering a short. Okay, but what is momentum doing? Let's not try to, you know, throw ourselves into a short without looking for the momentum. Are we going to continue going to higher prices? Because if we are going to continue going to higher prices, then your short's going to get eaten alive. Either you're going to get liquidated or your stop loss is going to get hit. And right now, the momentum on the daily time frame is showing that the trend is up for higher prices here. You saw selling pressure die down last week. Then going into this week, you're seeing buying pressure showing up here. So unless we immediately start, you know, reversing course here, I think right now you're going against the momentum. XLM does want to go to higher prices from what I'm seeing here. Okay, so maybe it's not ready for the short yet, okay? But I get the idea is like why you want to short. Okay, and then here on the other momentum indicator here on the daily time frame, you got a green buy dot that came in last Thursday. Momentum, the gray stuff, is going up, curving up and going to the upside. And you got money flow it is negative, but it is curving up, and if it keeps curving up, you'll see money flow turn green, and that's not going to be good for your short. So I would hold off on the short on XLM. Okay, how much longer do you have to wait? Well, I mean, it depends on what you want to do here. If we come up to like this previous candle wick high here at like 17.5 cents roughly, then maybe that would be a good area to short. It's actually 0.173 pennies, but I said 17.5. It's like close enough. 17 cents here could be where, well, we're actually near 17 cents, but like 0.173 pennies. You could try to see if it's going to do a double top at that area and try to enter a short. So maybe put your stop, maybe put your short at 0.173. See if that's gonna hit, and then put your stop loss really tight at like maybe, I don't know, whatever, depends on what leverage you're using, but like maybe 0.176 or 0.177. Okay, if you want to keep it really tight. It's just an idea. Okay, but then, you know, stellar lumens could get past this, eat up your stop loss, and then what do you gotta do? Then maybe think about trying to take a short at this other candle wick high here, where we got to like almost 18.5 pennies here on April 21st, and then you can try to see if you can get a double top on that candle wick. Okay, that's at what we said, 18.5 pennies. What would really make more sense is the closer we get to this 2-day moving average, that should be for sure time to do a scalp short. That's maybe it turns into a long position short if it's if it doesn't get stopped out. But I would try to short this 200 moving average. That's at 19 pennies. Remember, this is a moving average. So I think maybe by the time this 200 moving average comes down to like 18.5 pennies, that's probably where the price will be at. They might hit each other at 18.5 pennies, which would be right where that candle wick high is on April 21st. And then you could try to play the double top here at 18.5 pennies. If you see that 200 moving average at 18.5, the price is at 18.5, and you see the double top here at 18.5, I would try to wait to short Stellar Lumens, because it might actually continue up to 18.5 pennies, and then that'd be the better short to take. Let's see, we got the Aron Racer in the chat smashing that like button. Thank you for smashing that like button. We have 800 likes here. Let's see if we can get up to 1,000. Should be easy. All you guys have to do is double tap your screen here on TikTok to send the like there. Appreciate that. Let's see. GR88 says we've been on the high side for months. Shorting isn't dumb either. No, it's not dumb. I've entered shorts on some cryptocurrencies. I entered a short on Bitcoin at 81,800 about a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, something like that. And then I got stopped out in profit when Bitcoin dropped down to like 76K and then came back up to like 78,000. I had my stop loss at 78,000, and I got stopped out in profit on my Bitcoin short. Oh well. Oh well. But that's just the market, right? It goes up and goes down, and it doesn't go straight up, and it doesn't go straight down either. Let's see. Let me get back in the chat. Let me see what my YouTube guys are saying here. All right, nothing new so far on YouTube. I do want to go back to Bitcoin. Let's see. I entered the long here on Bitcoin. I want to get into like the 5 and 15 minute time frame. Let's start with the 15 minute time frame. So we look at the 15-minute time frame on Bitcoin, and we'll look at it again here. I want to see if anything has changed here on the DeluxeAlgo money flow indicator. Got a green buy knot that came in at 5:45 my time, which was about 45 minutes ago. Momentum still going to the upside. Money flow is kind of going up to the upside as well. So maybe we might have been bottoming out there on Bitcoin. Maybe. That's what I'm hoping for, because I'm in a long on Bitcoin right now. And my long is like near break even. MACD looks pretty good here on the 15-minute time frame, and you're about to get a MACD crossover to the upside. So maybe my long does play out to the upside here. We'll see how much buying pressure we get here. If it's not as good as it was earlier today or last night, then we're not going to really get much of a move up to the upside here. I would like to see some green over in the next hour or two. Looks like we could get some green here on the 15-minute time frame. Momentum is looking pretty good on the 15-minute time frame for higher prices here. And I think what we'll see is like we'll come back up to the white line here at 74,700, maybe in the next hour before I end my live stream here. And then maybe we might come up to like that green line there at 74,900, right? So these are the lines that I'm looking for on the 15-minute time frame. Let me see what the 5-minute time frame is doing. Get into smaller time frames here, see if there's anything different. The smaller time frames, we do have a bullish divergence that's showing up here with this teal color looking line here. And this is my DeluxeAlgo indicator showing me that there is bullish divergence here. And it's saying that there was a trap long here and another long hit signal here. These are my signals indicators here, telling us that we should be long in Bitcoin, not shorting it. Like the guy in my Discord that was getting excited earlier about shorting. Usually when people's emotions get amped up like that, unless it's like really, market, like it's just like breaking news that's like gonna drive the markets, then that's gonna, there's sometimes you are right about being, fearful or being excited, okay? But all we got today was like Donald Trump's like, we might have to go back to attacking Iran. He didn't say that specifically, but he said, what did he say? I gotta look at this one more time here. He said we might have to finish the job, okay? That's still a might. It's not, doesn't mean that they are gonna do it. So, you know, the market did drop on that, but the market might be like, all right, so it's just more of the same. Like tomorrow, it's just gonna be like more of the same. Okay, well, they're not shooting each other, so maybe we can go back up in price again. All right, but they're also not getting a peace deal, so we're pretty much where we were yesterday, right? There was no peace deal yesterday, and there was no peace deal the day before that, or the week before, or the month before. So it's just like more of the same. And I think the market will read that and be like, ah, you know what? You can just brush this off and go up to higher prices again. Let's see, 5-minute time frame. Looking at the momentum indicators, buying pressure is here. I was trying to die down, but let's see if buying pressure starts increasing. But we want to start seeing higher prices here for Bitcoin, so my long can play out. No, we think we're going to see higher prices because of the 15-minute time frame and the MACD crossover. 5-minute time frame, green buy dots here after having a red sell dot, but we did get a green buy dot about like an hour ago, and momentum is going up on the 5-minute time frame. I'm going to go back to that 15-minute time frame one more time here. 15-minute time frame, we got 11 more minutes before this candle closes, but we're getting selling pressure is dying down here on Bitcoin. MACD crossover about to come in here. All right, let me just show you on Discord here. The guy that did get excited on my Discord. Go over to the Meat Gaming Discord, go to the Gem channel. Here you'll see when I go live. I usually post up my lives here, my live streams. And then let's see, we had this guy said short baby short, right? Short baby short. Tony did that, and I said to Tony, I said, I went long because Tony said short baby short. Haha, just kidding, trying to play the oversold bounce here. But that was confirmation for me to enter the long, because when people get excited like that, that usually means there's a lot of fear in the market. Late shorts are showing up, and that creates extra liquidity for the market makers to try and go and snatch up that liquidity to the upside by taking out those shorts that just recently got placed. They can then take those shorts out and make more money, bring the price back up. And at the time when I said, you know, oh, I'm gonna go long, I saw the price of Bitcoin go up to like 74,670. I was up 14%, and my entry price is at 74,400. So I need Bitcoin to do something here and actually go up above 74,400. 74,400 wasn't too bad of a price to get in. The best price for today was a little bit lower than that. 74,219, 74,209. So I was only about a couple of dollars off. But you know, I saw this trap long signal here, and on the 5-minute time frame, I also saw the bullish divergence showing up. I didn't really show you guys here the bullish divergence, but I'll go ahead and show it to you right now. You gotta pull up the RSI indicator for that. You can see that we had lows here, and another higher low here, and we're still making higher lows here after we already made lower lows on price here. You've already seen that, right? So there's bullish divergence, right? Do I need to draw it out for you? I'll kind of do it. I'll do it just to have it there for you guys to make it obvious. But you can see that the lows, higher low, still making higher lows here, okay? And this was after making a low on price and then making a lower low on price, okay? And that's the cool thing about my DeluxeAlgo indicator, is that it can spot the bullish divergence here. So if I'm not like looking at the RSI indicator, I can just look at this on the chart and be like, oh, wait a minute, there is bullish divergence, and then I can go to the RSI indicator and just confirm that, like, oh yeah, there is bullish divergence showing up here on the 5-minute time frame. So usually that's the beginning of trying to bottom out. And now we got to see, are we going to be able to make higher lows on the price? And I did say, you know, from what I'm seeing here on Bitcoin and on the charts, that I'm expecting the price of Bitcoin to go up in the next hour. So we shall see if I'm right about that. You guys get a little quiet here on TikTok, but let's see. Striker wants to take a look at Fetch AI. All right, we can do that for you. Striker, appreciate that. Thank you for all the likes you've been giving me. We got up to like almost 3,000 likes now. Let's see. GR8TTR says long if it's stable in 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, I mean, you could wait. You don't have to, you know, be brave like me and try to enter, you know, a long right after a price drop. But I know, like, after a price drop, unless like we get like something where we kind of like do a little bear flag and then drop down again. This was like a move that I was waiting for. I was waiting for Bitcoin to make a move, whether it be to the upside or to the downside, because I missed, you know, shorting Bitcoin here. So what time was that around? Like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think I was at the gym. I was considering it. I was like, I don't know, you know, maybe Bitcoin comes up to this 200 moving average and then I can short. But I was at the gym. I wasn't really analyzing the charts, and I was looking at the charts, but I wasn't like convinced about shorting it right there. And then of course what happens, right? We did drop down. Like, oh damn it, I missed out on the short. Okay, but like, just because I missed out on the short doesn't mean I'm just gonna enter a short. So like right here I was like, all right, well, let me see if Bitcoin kind of like settles down a little bit and then I'll enter a long. And I did see it like settle off a little bit, try to create some bullish divergence here. And I'm okay with that long at 74,400. I didn't get the bottom for today. I'm not that perfect, okay? But if you're on the charts and you're not really doing too much, if you're not working, if you're not like, you know, at the gym or anything else that you're doing, then it doesn't hurt to try to maybe enter a long and then put your stop loss at the lowest low here, 74,209 bucks here. And if you get stopped out, hopefully it's a small loss. You're not, you know, betting the farm here, okay? But I mean, like I said, I think Bitcoin might be due for a bounce here because we got some signals here. I already showed you the bullish divergence on the 5-minute time frame. Buyers are showing up to the plate here. We've been talking about Bitcoin for a while here, and then here on the 50-minute time frame, I just think like we could come back up to the white line at the very least, and maybe come back up to the green line here, okay? On the 15-minute time frame. But just zooming back out on the daily time frame, like we already hit like a Fibonacci level that I've been looking for. 74,100 came down to like 74,200. Close enough, right? Only off by 100 bucks. When we're talking about like $70,000 asset here, being off by 100 bucks. Get a little bit of bounce here, maybe come up to like 74,800. There's another Fibonacci level above us. And yeah, maybe we come back down one more time to 74,000. So I feel like we could get some little ping pong action. Maybe we create a little bit of a bear flag here, and then maybe we come down to lower prices here on Bitcoin. But as far as scalping goes, I was more interested in long in Bitcoin this afternoon after the drop than trying to short it and hope the drop would continue down. Okay. Anyways, let's move on from here. We're gonna take a look at the other asset here. What was it? Nostalgia wants to take a look at gold. Okay, thank you for that. Striker, thank you for spamming the like button. I'm trying to find your requests. I didn't write down what your request was here. Oh, you said Fetch AI. So we'll look at Fetch AI and then we'll look at the price of gold. And I'm gonna check YouTube, make sure I didn't miss out any requests over there. So Fetch AI, gold. Let's see what YouTube has to say over here. Crypto Cruise just giving me the bear mug and says thank you. You're welcome, Crypto Cruise. All right, let's take a look at Fetch AI. Fetch AI, or now they call themselves artificial superintelligence. I mean, I remember they did a merger between artificial superintelligence and Fetch AI, and it's like, I never heard of that. A cryptocurrency merging with another cryptocurrency. But they did it. They did it. Just zooming out here, Fetch AI has seen better days. I actually was invested in Fetch AI in 2024 myself. And that was like the best days you had here. It was like March of 2024. Fetch AI got as high as like $3.23. Boy, oh boy. That's like a 95% drop from where we are right now. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay. So Fetch AI is pretty much at the same price you could have bought it back here in like September of 2023. Yikes. Near 3 close here. Alright, just gotta turn the AC on here for myself. So I just want to give the other viewers here an idea of like what Fetch AI has done. It's a cryptocurrency, like a lot of altcoins. It's seen better days in 2024. 2025 was rough, and then 2026 is not being a good year either. Fetch AI. But Fetch AI, let's see. You had the lowest lows for the year. Looks like around here in March. 14 cents roughly. Oh, 13.1338 pennies on February 6th. So don't go lower than that. Okay, let me just mark out the chart there. Don't go lower than that level right there. Because that could just, I mean, that's just to confirm that we're still in a bear market. Fetch AI. But what did Fetch AI do recently? Did get a trap long signal here on May 2nd. Had some good days here. Finally got above the 200 moving average, this red line, first time in a long time, around May 8th. That's good to see. And then we lost the 200 moving average, but then we came back up to it, and we're staying above it right now. So Fetch AI trying to be bullish here. I can go from being long-term bearish to long-term bullish if you get above the 200 moving average. This red line, we lost it, right? Well, we've been losing it for multiple times here on this asset here, but the most recent time you lost it was here on September 19th. You've never been able to come back up to that red line again until May, okay? Until this month, and you're coming back up it again. So you're showing some fight in ya. Fetch AI is showing some fight here. We got a few green candles. Had a really good week the past week here. Green, 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 green. 11% here on Monday. Another 8% here on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, kind of did a little double top here at 26 cents. And now the bears are going to probably take that and run with it and bring it down. I think the bears might take this down to the 200 moving average for sure. That's at 22 pennies. But they might take it further than that, down to the 100 moving average. I mean, look what they did. They actually did this where they took it below the 200 moving average and all the other moving averages. They took it below the 100 moving average. Gave people a good scare there. Then buyers started showing up and bringing it back up again. So could we see something like that again, where we come down, don't even respect the moving averages, come right below the 100 moving average on the daily time frame and do the same thing all over again? If we do that, then maybe you could count that as a double bottom. You got one bottom here, right? Maybe you can make a double bottom. That would hurt, you know, for those who are trying to buy right now. But I think a better area to buy would be, you know, around like 18, 19 pennies here. Look for that double bottom potential here for Fetch AI. Although Fetch AI doesn't have to do that, it might not have to scare us that bad. It might just come down to the moving averages here, right? We can drill this down, but it might actually, you know, pierce through the 200 moving average, come down to like the 50, and then get a bounce off the moving averages, make a higher low, and go to higher prices after that. We're going to be on the lookout for that. Are we going to get the higher low, or is it going to take it all the way down and then make a double bottom? This is what you can try to play for Fetch AI. Are you going to try to long it at the 200 moving average? Put your stop loss maybe below the 100 moving average? If you get stopped out, what are you going to do next? Are you going to then try to long, maybe do a double bottom here at 19 pennies and put your stop loss below the low here on May 17th? You got like 18 or 17 pennies? Some ideas to think about here, right? Are we going to get the higher low, or are we going to have to take it down to the double bottom here? But those are like the two ideas I would be playing around with here on Fetch AI. Now I just want to look at momentum real quick here, see what the momentum's like. Are we going to see lower or higher prices here in the daily time frame? On the MACD indicator here, which is a momentum indicator, you had selling pressure dying off, turning into buying pressure here. And, I mean, it could squeeze out higher prices here. I'm not seeing buying pressure die down like you saw back here on May 11th. So, maybe FetchAI could squeeze out a few more pennies here to go to higher prices. And then let's see, on the momentum indicator, the money flow indicator, you did get a green buy out here on Thursday, last Thursday, about a week ago. Momentum to the upside, the gray stuff going to the upside, and money flow is going green after it was red or negative over here. So it looks like FetchAI could squeeze out, a few more pennies here to the upside. Maybe this is going to be just one bad red day, and then, today is, believe it or not, we still got 23 more hours left in the day because it's actually considered Thursday right now in cryptocurrency world. The clock strikes midnight at 12 o'clock over in England, and that's the time zone for cryptocurrencies, right? So right now it's only been it's like an hour. Almost like an hour past midnight here in England, and you still got 23 more hours left to try to make a green candle here. We'll see if we get a green candle for FetchAI going into tomorrow. Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, we'll probably see higher prices. And how much higher? Well, can we get past this double top here? That looks like we're trying to create at 26 pennies. You might see FetchAI at 26 pennies later on, going into tomorrow. And then after that, what is that? I'm gonna look here at times at 26 cents here. I want to throw in the VRVP indicator. I feel like we might see some resistance here at 28 pennies, but let me just confirm that. Yeah, there's a high volume node here at 28, 29 pennies here, so that could be the next target to the upside for FetchAI using the VRVP indicator here. Alright, moving on, FetchAI, we'll take a look at the price of gold. Gold is currently trading at $44.50. Let me clean things up here. We'll take the VRVP indicator off for now. Gold is still in the downtrend after making its blow off top all-time high at 5,598 here on January. And you're kind of making just lower highs here. You got a lower high here, another lower high. I would call this another lower high. And at what point are we going to start making higher highs again for gold? I don't know. But gold is trying to stay above this 200-day moving average, right? This 200-day moving average, this red line, is sitting at 4,368. Maybe we might have a few more red days here for gold, but I think the 200 moving average should be an area where you should be thinking about buying some gold, going into a long, whatever you got to do to get into gold. That 200 moving average, a lot of other professional traders all around the world are paying attention to the price of gold. You know that they definitely pay attention to the price of gold for sure. And the trading bots are also paying attention to the 200-day moving average. So I think they will try to make a fight. They'll try to defend the 200-day moving average. And you know what? To be honest with you, they might be doing it right now. Granted, we have a red day right now. Okay, we have a red candle here on the daily time frame. But I mean, there could be some front running going on here. If we don't actually hit that red line here and we start going back up to higher prices, this might be the lowest price you can get gold right now before we go up to higher prices. Oh my God, did I just see Lorene send a rose here on TikTok? Oh my gosh, are you staying up past your bedtime here, Lorene, or are you having a hard time falling asleep? It's gotta be 12 o'clock, right? 12 or 1 o'clock where you're at in Ireland? Thank you for sending the rose here, Lorraine. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Definitely appreciate you coming up. You must have tried to go to sleep and you couldn't, and here you are. 1:50 a.m. Oh my God. Yeah. So you're 7 hours ahead of me. It's 6:50 here in Costa Rica. That's like a couple hours behind my normal time zone. I'm usually in the New York, Boston area, and it's like 8 o'clock or 8:50 their time right now. So I'm over here just getting my night started here with you guys, but Lorene is, oh my god, she's about to end her night soon. But good to see that Lorene's here. She is one of the moderators here on TikTok. So you guys gotta behave yourself. If she sees something she don't like, she's gonna let me know. And we might have to mute you, and if you keep repeat offending, we might have to block you. Okay. I feel like everybody's behaving themselves today so far. Altcoin Oracle says, yes, exactly. No double bottom, printing cup and handle. Thank you, Lorraine, for sending me the heart me. Not a reversal yet. Are we talking about the price of gold, or are we talking about the other asset that I was looking at before that, which was Fetch AI? I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder in the background, but it is raining and lightning over here, and thunderstorms. There's thunderstorms here in Costa Rica right now. I'm in the San Jose area. Yep. Oh yeah, Altcoin was talking about Fetch AI. Okay, yeah. Alright, but yeah, we are looking at the price of gold. If gold is going to climb up to higher prices, where could it maybe get a rejection at? Well, the 21 EMA in the daily time frame is sitting at 4,586. I would expect gold to at least try to make a run back up to that level there at some point in the near future. And then if it gets rejected, it gets rejected. If it doesn't, then maybe it comes up to the green line. You saw it come up to the green line, that 50-day moving average, back here on May 12th, and then get rejected. So those are the two lines to look for at the upside. The 21 EMA and the 50 EMA. Those could be where we get rejections here for the price of gold, believe it or not. Okay. And then if gold's able to punch past those moving averages, for some reason you can see that the blue line acted as a cap, you know, acted almost like a dome, preventing you from going up to higher prices here, back here on May 12th and May 7th here. And the 100 moving average is sitting at 47.93. So I think the most you could hope for gold is 47.93. 47.93 as of now for upside price action here on gold. But let's see. Let's see. I'm going to throw the BRVP indicator and see what the BRVP has to say about levels to look for here. You got that blue, dark blue line here at 4,700 bucks. So going back to 4,700 bucks is going to be tough for gold to push past. The majority of the people that bought and sold gold over the last few months here, going into the December of last year, they bought it at 4,700 bucks. So some people right now are underwater. And if the price goes back up to 47, they can break even and get out of gold at break even at 4,700 bucks. So I'm expecting 47 to like $4,800 to be tough for gold to get past in the near term here. Come back to the live stream, ask for gold a few days, a few weeks from now, whatever, and we'll see if we actually get up to that $4,800 level and if we're able to punch past it. Okay. I'm seeing a high volume node here, and I'm also seeing the 100 moving average at like basically 4,800 bucks here. And then also you got the point of control, 4,600 bucks. It's gonna be tough to get past as well. Alrighty. Thank you all, Altcoin Oracle, for becoming the number 8 fan in the fan club here. We're getting some more fans in the fan club for the Meek Gaming community. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. And Lorene's also sending more gifts here. Appreciate that. And thank you, Altcoin Oracle, for sending me the heart meat. Appreciate that as well. Let me go back to YouTube, see what my YouTube guys are doing. My YouTube world here. We got DZ in the chat. Says he's asking if NEAR is done. And you think VVV is done as well? We can go ahead and take a look at those two assets for you. We'll see if NEAR protocol is done. And we'll see if VVV is done. I think if NEAR was going to continue going up to higher prices, we were talking about like a $3, I think, 15-cent NEAR maybe. I have to look at the charts again. But we're gonna look at near and then VBV for the next two assets here. All right, let's go with. I think I had near as on my watch list here. And near protocol at $2.45. Okay. And yeah, I marked on the chart here 338 was the target to the upside for near, because this was a level that we hit back here on May of last year, and it was also kind of like a support level here in September of 2024. So I marked on the chart as like possible resistance for near. But let's see, what did near do actually? It actually went up to, how high did we get up on near? Did we get to $3? 290. Yesterday, yeah, 297. I want to show you the levels to look for on near before we go get into momentum and figure out what direction it might want to go. So there was high volume here at 295 and 297. I mentioned that in my near protocol video that I made this weekend. That was when near protocol was at like 238, which I mean it's about to get back to that price right now. But on the way up, I was like, you know, 275 was an area for near to go, and then 295 was another level, and we hit 297 yesterday. So I think I was pretty spot on with targets for the upside here for near. To the downside, I think we could revisit 238, which we're doing that right now, right? You can see this high volume node here, around 238, 240 here, okay? And then there's another high volume node here at $2.10 here. You got the one of the value areas here showing up. I don't know. Let me readjust the chart. Okay, value area high 217, and then yeah 210. You can see that on the right side there. You can see the high volume nodes here at 210, and it's trying to say that there's a value area high at 218, 217, somewhere around there. So those are targets to the downside that I'm giving you on near protocol. We could hit 210, 217 in the near term here. And let's see. Let's look at the momentum. What is momentum doing here from near? Uh-oh, I think you might be right, DZ. So buying pressure is starting to die down here on the momentum indicator, on the MACD indicator for near on the daily time frame. Blue line, which was going up and looking long and strong, is now starting to become a limp noodle now. Near protocol is starting to have its blue line curve down. Its moving average is starting to curve down. If it curves down and actually crosses the orange line, that signal line to the downside, you'll see selling pressure come in, and you'll see more lower prices for near here. So that's a warning sign that, yeah, we might be topping out here on near. And I'm looking at the RSI. You can see that we've been overbought on the RSI. Now we're starting to get, we're still overbought just a little bit. But if we keep going down, we won't be overbought anymore, I'll tell you that. And then as far as the other momentum indicator, so we had money flow here. It was green. You know, near was looking really good this weekend, going into Monday and Tuesday here. And then here on Wednesday, we got a red sold out coming in. Momentum, the great stuff coming down. Yeah, it looks like near protocols at least topping out for now. And I gave you my targets to the downside, 210, 217. Right now we're hanging out near a high volume node here at 240, 238. But yeah, I think 210, you got high volume node there. 270, 220, somewhere around there as well. Okay, that's gonna prevent you from dropping like a rock. But if you lose like 205, 210, you got a gap in the VRBP indicator, and you might not get support until you get to $1.63. Yikes! $1.63, that'd be almost like a 33% drop. Let me measure that out real quick here. Where we are right now, to the $1.63, that high volume node. 34% drop. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. Might be time to get out of near protocol. Take your profits if you want to. Maybe take a short on it if you want. Altcoin Oracle wants me to take a look at Ondo. Let me go ahead and write that down so I don't forget. Thank you for the request there. We got 5,100 likes here on TikTok. Let's see if we can get 8,000 likes here. All you guys have to do is double tap that screen. That's how you send the like here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Now, YouTube guys, all that I ask is that I think we should be able to have just as many likes as we have people in the live chat. Altcoin Argo wants to see what I think about Ondo. I think we looked at Ondo yesterday, but we can look at it again. Sure, yeah. Moving on from NEAR, we're going to take a look at the VVV, and then we'll take a look at Ondo. So here we are looking at VVV on the daily time frame, currently trading at $16.45 here. I'm going to get rid of the view repeat for now. Looks like we have some moving average support here for VVV. This white line is sitting at $15.99. That's right inside the golden pocket here on the Fibonacci. I would expect the bleeding to come to a stop, at least momentarily, at the 16 bucks here for VVV, which, I mean, you're only about 45 cents away, but there could be a little bit more bleeding until we get down to 16 bucks. And then we're going to see if traders are actually going to go long at this area, try to long the 21 EMA, try to long this Fibonacci golden pocket level here. If not, I mean, could get really brutal down there. Next moving average below you is your 50-day sitting at 11.99. Yeah, that could be a level to look for here for VVV. But remember, it's going to take some time for the price to get down to that moving average, and the moving average is moving up in the meantime. So maybe by the time the price comes down to the 50-day moving average, the 50-day moving average might be right where this 0.382 level is, and then you'll have a lot of confluence between the 0.382 and the 50 moving average, saying that $13 is actually probably going to be the support for Venice, for VVV here. But as of now, we're just playing this one because we know that this is in play here. We got the 21 EMA right inside the golden pocket. There should be at least a reaction here. If not, if there's no reaction, then there's no reaction. You're going to just continue bleeding down until you get a reaction. VVV, let's see. What is momentum looking like for VVV? I gotta go back to my momentum indicators here. We'll look at the money flow first here. This is the DeluxeAlgo money flow indicator. You can use these green and red dots as like kind of like buy and sell indicators if you want to. You had a green buy dot here on May 19th and a red sell dot that came in on May 25th. That was trying to tell you that to get out of VVV on May 25th. What, 2 days ago on Monday? Hyperwave is also turning negative. This line was green and now it's turning red. And now you have momentum. The gray stuff is also peeling over and dying down. You got the momentum is dying down and going lower here. So I think the momentum is going to take you down to lower prices here for VVV. And then what do we got here on the MACD indicator on the daily time frame? You got buying pressure that was here this weekend dying down, and you got your red candle showing up today. And then Thursday's also showing a red candle here as well. So doesn't look good for higher prices here on VVV. We'll see if we can kind of stop the bleeding here at that 21 EMA. If not, we might have to come down to the 50 moving average, that green line. All right, let's see. We got Mir Hoyarl following me here on TikTok. Thank you for doing that. You have a signal and full power scalping strategy, so don't waste your time. All right, yeah. So if you're gonna advertise, you gotta first come to me to advertise this channel. There is no unpaid sponsorships here. You have to become paid sponsor to advertise here. If you do that again, I have to kick you out, possibly ban you and block you. So that's your first and only warning right there. For now, you can continue to follow me and chit chat. Don't forget to smash the like button. That's how you prevent yourself from getting blocked here. All right. Moving on from VVB, we'll take a look at Ondo. Ondo USD here on Coinbase Exchange. Ondo currently trading at 38 cents. I believe we were looking at this yesterday. Yesterday we closed Tuesday's candle at like 40 cents, and we're down a couple of cents more, a couple more pennies from there. We did get a signal here telling us to short Ondo that came in yesterday. Sure enough, Wednesday was also a bad day here, and now it looks like we're also possibly getting another bad day for Thursday here for Ondo. I think Ondo might be on its way down to this red line here, this 200 moving average at 35 cents. We'll see if we can actually use that as support. If I turn on the VRVP indicator here, let's see, do we have a volume node there? Kind of, sort of, yeah, at 35 cents, yeah. Should act as support. Believe it or not, there's actually something here at like 36.5 pennies. A little bit of volume there at 36.5 pennies. Yeah, I think in between like 35 and 36 pennies is a good area to try to enter a long on Ondo, and you put your stop loss right below the 200 moving average if that's what you want to do. Keep it nice and tight. But if we lose the 200 moving average, there is the 50-day and the 100-day right below you. Looks like there's a lot of volume here on the 50-day moving average, sitting at like 32 cents. So I don't know, there's not. If you can't hold 35, then you might come down 32. Nothing too crazy there, but that's almost like a 10% move down, right? Going from there to there. Let me just look at that here. If we go from like 200-day moving average down to like 50-day moving average, that's saying like an 8% move. But still, like you could get better prices if you could just wait for that 50-day moving average. But I think the 200-day moving average, we'll see. There should be a reaction at that level there. 35 cents, put it down. And it's only what, two or three more pennies. Another 10% move down, and maybe you can buy some cheaper Ondo. Let's look at the momentum indicators. Are we actually going to go down to those levels there? Here on the MACD indicator, I see a MACD cross with the downside that occurred on Tuesday, yesterday. And now you got the selling pressure starting to come in with the red candles here. So MACD indicator says, showing that we could probably go down to lower prices to like 35 cents maybe. And then let's see here on the money flow indicator. Got a red sold out that came in yesterday. Momentum to the downside. Hyperwave, this is the hyperwave line here with red and green, and now it's back to red again, so it's probably going to go down to lower prices here. So it looks like we should be going down to lower prices here for Ondo. But once we're going down to lower prices, where can we bounce back up to? There is some high volume node here at 42 cents, and then some more volume here at 44 cents. And it should get easier to go to higher prices once you get past 44 cents here on Ondo. There you go, Coin Oracle. Hope that helps you with your analysis on Ondo. Thank you, Chosen One, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Well, I'm glad you were able to come on to the live stream and ask me my analysis here. Hopefully it gives you more confirmation as to whatever you were thinking about with Ondo. Maybe I gave you some new insights too, I don't know. AVT Aventus Network says, you want me to look at AVT? Is this like a shill for one of your coins here? If I can't find it on TradingView, then I'm not gonna look at. I can't actually chart it. Aventus. Oh, there is Aventus here on Coinbase here. Aventus currently trading at 52 cents. You guys are probably getting used to the VRVP indicator here, but right now we do got a point of control here. The blue line is sitting at 55 cents, so you're right below that. And you're also below the value area low too. Value area low was really close at like 53 cents. Okay, so you're considered undervalued right now because you're below the entire value area. You're below both white lines. This is your value area low and your value area high right above. And you're below all of that right now. could be time to try to do a scalp long on Aventus and see if it actually sticks or not. You can put your stop loss really tight, maybe below one of these candlewick lows here at 51 cents or 50 cents. Okay. And then what can you get out of that? I think at the most, in the near term, you might get yourself back up to that blue line, that dark blue line at 55 cents, and that's, you know, a little bit less than 10% move up in price. But if you can get past that dark blue line, then it gets a little bit more lucrative where the volume drops off here, and then you maybe make your way back up to the value of your high at 65 cents. So let's try to do a long position, try to plan this out, right? If we try and do that. If we bought right here at 52 cents, where are we going to put the stop loss? At 50 cents? Yeah. And if we just try to get to that point of control here, like 55, 56 cents, your risk reward ratio is not that lucrative. It's only like 2. I want like a risk reward ratio of like 3 to justify getting into a trade and risking the money that I'd be risking. You're risking 3.8% to try and get 7.6%. You're basically gonna get double what you would lose here. It's better to get triple what you would lose, right? But if you were gonna stay in the long and try to see if this thing actually makes its way up to that value area high here at 65 cents, now your risk reward ratio is 6.5. You're risking 3.8% to try and get 25%. That's a really good risk reward ratio right there. If you're able to stay in the trade, that's if you even get to that price. We don't even know if we're going to get to that price. There might be a more likely possibility that you might get rejected off the 100-day moving average and that's sitting at 60 cents. Still might be a good trade to take if that's the case here. You're risking 3.8% to try and get 15%. Your risk reward ratio is 4. That qualifies as a really good trade there. Because it's a risk reward ratio of above 3. You're at 4 if you try to do that. So not bad for trying to take a long if that's what you want to do here on Aventus. Old Coin says nice setup. Yeah, I mean it's worth taking a scalp long, I think, on Aventus if that's what you guys want to do here. We've already come down. We had some bullish divergence here. Let me get rid of the VRVP for now. But you had some bullish divergence showing up here earlier. Let me see if I can show that to you guys here in the chart. But you see that the low, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows here after making lower lows on the price. So bullish divergence. That's like the beginning of trying to bottom out here. Then the next thing you need to do if you are going to bottom out is start making higher lows and higher highs, right? Start making an uptrend. But I can see that you're still making lower lows here on the price. Even though you kind of shot up out of nowhere on May 10th, May 11th, you got up to the 200-day moving average at like 79 cents. This could still drift down and stop you out at 50 cents. Maybe even go down like 49, 48 pennies before it shoots back up to that 200 moving average one more time at 70 cents here. So. But this is not too bad of a setup here, right? I would want to look for like higher lows or even a double bottom if possible here. And if you're just counting candlewick lows here, then you could say this is 1, 2, 3. This is like a triple bottom right here at 51 pennies. And then even this, you can see this is also, you could say this is a triple bottom at 1, 2, 3. Triple bottom at 52 pennies using just the daily the candle wicks that we got here. And funny enough, this is a higher low compared to this low here. So you could try to make a bullish case that yeah, you are doing triple bottoms, double bottoms, and you're also doing higher lows here. Let's see, Toshi Kuza came in the chat here, says, where Bitcoin support at? Need this bleed to stop. We were looking at the Fibonacci on Bitcoin at 74,100 was supposed to be support. That's the 618 golden pocket. Let me go into Bitcoin now. Because I did enter a Bitcoin long Am I still in the long? I would have got a notification if I got knocked out. But here on Bitcoin, I did draw a Fibonacci from 82,800, which is where we went to here a couple of weeks ago on May 6th. And I drew that Fibonacci from 82,800 down to the $60,000 level, which we were at back here in February 6th. And it gives us these Fibonacci levels to look for. And we do got a 618 here. 618 at 74,100. We kind of are at support, potential support here for Bitcoin. Okay. But we don't have the moving average. If like one of the moving averages was over here giving us some influence, I'd be like, yeah, this is, because the moving average trader is going to try to play the moving average, and then the Fibonacci trader is going to try to play the Fibonacci. And if the moving average was right at the Fibonacci, you would have both, traders looking at each instrument here and confirming that they're going to see higher prices here. Now look at this. Oh no, my Bitcoin long just got stopped out. So I had $74,200 as my stop loss for Bitcoin, and you can see right now we're at 74,193. You just dipped right below my stop loss, knocked me out of my long trade here on Bitcoin. For a small loss, I got in at 74,400. So here we go. We just hit my stop loss, and now the price is trying to go up again after stopping me out. But here's the thing though. If I go into the smaller time frames here, like the 1 hour time frame, we're still making lower lows. Right? Because earlier today we were at, the lows were like 74,219 and 74,209. We just made another lower low here at 74,120. I had my stop loss right, really tight here, right below the candlewick lows here at 74,200. So we came and we stopped me out, but we still made a lower low here on the 1 hour time frame. Please believe that Bitcoin's not done going down yet. Okay, so it's whatever. Small loss. I can live with it. Hunting my stop loss. Is it really hunting my stop loss? Is it just doing what it's gonna do, right? Because we're still bearish here on Bitcoin, right? But if I didn't put my stop loss at 74,200, if I kept it at 74K, I mean, we came down at 74,120. I would still be in the trade if I kept my stop loss at 74K. But we can still drift our way down to 74K and stop me out at 74K. So like, you have to pick your levels. Like, where do you want your stop loss to be at? Originally, when I first got into the trade, my stop loss was at 74K, and then I saw like we kind of like made a double bottom here at 74,200. And I was like, all right, let me just put the stop loss at 74,200. And if we actually go below this, then guess what? We're still not bullish. Why are we making lower lows here? You can't make lower lows and say you're bullish. Nate says monthly shooting star on Bitcoin now will change to a bullish order block by Sunday. A monthly shooting star on Bitcoin. So let's look at the monthly candle then on Bitcoin. Yeah, that looks like a shooting star to me on Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. But the shooting star is it's a reversal candle, and it's usually a reversal to the downside. We already had some upside here on Bitcoin, and yeah, is it this Sunday? This Sunday, I believe, is the end of the monthly candle, May 31st. Man, yeah, if Bitcoin continues doing what it's doing, we are going to get a shooting star candle, and that's really bad. It usually means we're done going up, and we might go down. So be on the lookout for that on the monthly time frame. That's not a good thing to see here. Do my new traders understand what's going on here? This is a shooting star candle. You have a candle body, opening here. Candle body close could be right here. If we were to close this candle right now, it's not going to close until 3 more days. Actually, 4 more days. 3 days and 23 hours. But on Sunday night, we'll find out what's going to happen here. But if you look at this, this is a shooting star candle because you got the you know, the comet, right? And then you got the comet tail up here. And what this is showing, that buyers try to push the price up, but then sellers came in and push it right back down. We started here, buyers kind of push it up here, and then the sellers push it down, and they push it even further down from where we started off at. We started off at 76,300 bucks here, and now we're at 74,200. And that's going to kill the momentum to the upside, at least going into next month. So we'll see what happens going into next month. We still need some follow through. We need to see another red candle for it to be a confirmed shooting star here going into next month. But this is not good to see because it could turn into another red candle. We could have another red month going into the month of June here for Bitcoin. Thank you for pointing that out to me. I usually look at the monthly candles when we get towards the end of the month here. And we are getting towards the end of the month, but I probably would have looked at that on Friday. I usually do live streaming from Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern time. And because I'm not live streaming on Sunday, I probably would have looked at this on Friday and be like, oh my god guys, we're getting a shooting star candle here. This is not good. But hey, you know, looking at it right now, and this is just giving me a heads up. Like on Friday, I'll look at this again and see if it's still going to be a shooting star. We need Bitcoin to get back above 76,000. We need Bitcoin to get above 76,300 bucks here for this to not be a shooting star candle. Well, actually, it would probably still look like a shooting star candle. It might just be like a green candle, maybe. I don't know, it'll probably end up being looking like a doji candle. It would be an indecision candle, which is still could turn into a reversal candle. So we're getting some indecision, and possibly we're getting some fiction here that we're going to see lower prices here on Bitcoin going into next month. Yeah, we'll have to pay attention to that, Nate, going into Sunday, see if we are going to get that shooting star candle. But thank you for pointing that out. I was able to show this to my other subscribers and followers and viewers here that we got a shooting star candle cooking, ready to come out of the oven here. They'll be ready to come out of the oven on Sunday, and that's not going to be good. I would expect Bitcoin to start coming down going into next week if that's the case. Because other traders and investors who study candlestick charts and study chart patterns, they would see that and they're probably going to freak the hell out if they see this thing start to close on Sunday with a shooting star candle. I'm not going to be the only one, and you're not going to be the only one that sees that, and it's going to probably be more bearish on Bitcoin for that. Ha! Look at Bitcoin, it stops me out and comes right back to my break-even price. But that's because I kept my stop loss really tight down. Let's see. Let me go into my YouTube chat, see what the YouTube guys are saying here. Matty Ghost in the chat. Matty Ghost says he's shorting just about everything. Alright, Matty Ghost. That might not be a bad idea. Let's see. DZ says, Damien, never asked you, but what is my biggest bag holdings? Do you really want to know that, DZ? My biggest bag when it comes to crypto is US dollars, because I still think crypto's going down to low prices later on this year. So my biggest bag right now is dollars. And then, I mean, I don't know, I might have like some crypto. I think oh yeah, to be honest with you, like Tether, do you want to count Tether as a crypto? My biggest bag right now is Tether. And that's my biggest bag when it comes to crypto as of now. There might be some other cryptos that I didn't get rid of, that I didn't sell, that might still be, you know, my biggest bag. But yeah, my biggest bag right now is dollars and Tether, because I think crypto is going to go down to lower prices, and I want to scoop it up. I think if we hit 60K, that could be confirmation that, you know, maybe we're gonna get a double bottom at 60K. DZ says he doesn't trust Tether or USDC. Yeah, but if you want to be in stablecoins, those are the places to be. But that's why I'm in US dollars. Like, I can trust the US dollars, right? I'm not gonna lose US dollars. Like, you know, on Coinbase, which is one of the exchanges that I use for fiat money, you know, transferring from fiat to crypto and crypto back to fiat. If you have dollars on Coinbase and Coinbase goes under for whatever reason or gets hacked or whatever, those dollars are still there. You'll get the money back eventually. But as far as like Tether goes, I don't know. Yeah, you could get screwed if you're stuck in Tether and the exchange goes down. DZ likes USDC. Yeah, I like USDC better because it's affiliated with American companies here. So I feel like there's a little bit more trust to be involved with American companies, and USDC is affiliated with American companies. So I would trust USDC more than I would Tether. Yeah. And USDC, you're able to actually earn interest, whereas like Tether, you're not. So you can actually earn a little bit of interest by being in USDC. Let's see. TikTok guys, not really saying so much here. But I guess to answer your question, DZ, what I would like my biggest spot bag to be going into the next bull, I actually did pretty well with Solana during this last bull run. Some of my last big sells in Solana was when Solana was above $200. And that was after I bought it at like 13, 16, 20 bucks in the last bear market. So I would like to buy Solana again myself and just let it stake and earn, you know, staking rewards. I'd like to, you know, maybe buy Solana at like 60 bucks. I think Solana could get down. Let's take a look at Solana here. Because Solana is one of the cryptos I want to get back into again. It's currently at 82 bucks here. I'm looking at the monthly time frame. Yeah, that's a really good big picture view of Solana there. If I turn the VRVP indicator here, see what you got for high volume nodes. I'm kind of already at a high volume node here at 84, 85 bucks here, but there's something I think here at like 57 bucks, which I marked on the chart here. So 57 bucks, I don't know if I'm going to actually get 50 bucks, but I think, you know, $60 is where I want to start buying some Solana later on this year if we see those prices, which I think we will. I'm not going to say that we are, but I got a sneaking suspicion that we can go down to 60 bucks here, still make a higher low compared to what we were seeing back in 2023 here for Solana, and then launch up to higher prices after that. So I would like to buy Solana at 60 bucks and then sell it at 300 bucks, right? And what is that, like a 5x? That's like a 5x investment on a pretty solid cryptocurrency that has high market cap, has a use case. So many applications are being built on it. So many developers are using it. It's got the meme coin world on lockdown with so many meme coins, creating so much liquidity on Solana. So I think Solana is a good bet to get into for like the next bull run. In my opinion, I want to get back into Solana again. And then as far as, I don't know, Ethereum. I was big on Ethereum back in like 2018. I bought like a bunch of Ethereum during the bear market of 2018 when Ethereum was at like 150, 125 bucks. And you know, I sold my Ethereum in 2021 around like 3,800 bucks. So I made, in the first bull run that I got involved in, I made my money off of Ethereum. In the second bull run, I guess you could say, I made my money off of Solana. So in this next bull run that we're gonna get, I would like to make money on Solana again, but I don't know what the next one is gonna be. I would like to see, I think Sui might have some potential here for a utility coin in the future, but I don't like the fact that Sui doesn't have staking rewards like Solana. And I think Sui, you know, going from like $1 Well, maybe it drops down to like 50 cents, but like maybe Sui actually ends up being a bigger winner than Solana, because if Sui drops down to like 50 cents and then goes back up to $5 like we saw last year, that would be like a 10x on Sui. And I don't know if Solana's gonna do a 10x. Well, I take that back. Solana could possibly do a 10x, because I think Solana you could buy at $60, which is what I'm planning on doing, and then selling it for like $600. I think Solana could probably double from the all-time highs. We saw Solana at 295. I think Solana could get up to like high 500s, maybe 600s. And if you buy Solana at $60 and it goes up to $600, you just did another 10x with Solana. So I think Solana and Sui could probably be 10x cryptocurrencies in the future here. Who knows? Maybe even XRP. Like XRP was XRP's at $1.30, and then if XRP has a panic attack and loses $1.11 here, I think you could see 50 cents here all over again for XRP. But if XRP can, dust itself off and pick itself back up again, after you scoop up the 50 cent, XRP, we could see like maybe $5 XRP, and that would be like a 10x. So I think some of these coins are gonna have like 10x potential, and probably even Bitcoin too, because Bitcoin, right? That's a little bit too many lines there. But if Bitcoin comes down to some of the targets that I'm looking at later on this year, we got a lot of high volume here at 40K. If Bitcoin comes down to 40K, you buy it there and it goes right back up to 126K, you're going to triple your money on Bitcoin just doing that alone, going from 40K back up to the all-time high. But Bitcoin is not going to be done going up after it gets to 126K again. Maybe Bitcoin can double from there to like 250K, right? And then if we go from 40K to 250K, what is that? I got to do the calculator here. So like 250. Let's say Bitcoin doubles in price from the all-time high for the next bull run. 250 by 40. You'll have a 6x on Bitcoin if you're able to do that. So even Bitcoin can make you a good chunk of change if you're patient enough to spot buy it near the lows later on this year, which I think we have yet to see the lows for Bitcoin. Is what I'm seeing. But I'd be surprised, if Bitcoin can actually. I'd be pleasantly surprised. I'll be happy for everybody if Bitcoin does like a double bottom at 60K, and that's all we see. 60K is what we saw Bitcoin at in February. That's going to be a level that a lot of people are going to be paying attention to. Like, is Bitcoin going to break the lows for the year and go lower? Or are the lows for the year, are they in, and will Bitcoin do a double bottom at 60K? See if Allah says, can I do a review on Hyperliquid? We've been talking about Hyperliquid the past week or two, but we can look at it for you again. You're in a short on Hyperliquid from $61. Alright, let's look at Hyperliquid. That might not be a bad area to short Hyperliquid too. You're already in profit on your short right now. Hyperliquid at $58 right now. Let's get into the daily time frame here. Let's see, Hyperliquid. I did get a short signal here on Hyperliquid today. Trap short signal. Not as strong as Alright. I don't know why TikTok's trying to restrict me again here. TikTok's saying I'm being boring. I don't know. Am I being boring, guys? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm not boring. Put a 3 in the chat if you think I am boring. But TikTok is trying to say I'm being boring right now. Probably because I'm not like shaking my butt and playing around with a cat or something. But if I was like shaking my butt and playing around with a cat, then maybe well, first of all, TikTok would get mad at me for probably shaking off my butt because I'm not a girl. But if if I did had a cat or whatever, then maybe TikTok would be like, oh, he's not that boring. But anyways, we got a trap short signal here, not as strong as a super short. Okay, But it's still a short signal here, saying that shorting Hyperliquid should be done right now, today. You already did that at 61 bucks, so congratulations. We did see Hyperliquid get up to like $63 earlier today. That's good. I want to look at the momentum indicators to see if it's going to continue going down to lower prices here. On the daily time frame, the money flow indicator is showing that momentum to the downside. That gray stuff is going to the downside. And then you get a red sell dot that came in on Monday telling you to sell Hyperliquid. So even on Monday, like this thing, you could be using this as a signals indicator as well, and this is telling you to sell Hyperliquid right now. Okay. And money flow is this green stuff. Money flow is in the green. It's not yet going down, but if price goes down, you'll see money flow go down for sure. Yeah. And the other momentum indicator is the MACD indicator, which you should all be able to have that on your TradingView charts here. Momentum buying pressure is going down. It's dying down right now here on Hyperliquid. So I think you have the winds to your back here for your short to play out to the downside on Hyperliquid. And how far can we go down? There's a 21 EMA at 49 bucks right now, almost 50 bucks. So you could probably get another maybe 10-15% downside for your Hyperliquid short here. And then I'm going to throw on the VRVP indicator to see what other levels there are to look at with some high volume nodes. There's something here with the high volume node at 55 bucks. So be on the lookout for that. There could be a bounce off of 55 bucks. Maybe you might want to take a little bit of partial profit at $55. Of course, move your stop loss to break even, or even move it into profit if you want to. But once you lose 55 bucks, there's a gap in the VRVP indicator here. Something here at $53, and then something here at $51, and then you get the value area high at 48.90, which is right where that 21 EMA is at too. So. I think you just pick your levels. Like $55, I think you should try to take a little bit of profit on the short, because you just don't know. Donald Trump could just come back and say that, oh, we're 99% complete on the trade deal, and I feel confident that we'll have a deal by the end of June or something like that, or in the next week or two. Donald Trump pulls stuff out of his ass all the time. Half the stuff seems like lies to me. So he might juice up the markets one more time, and then you're going to see Hyperliquid come right back up again. So I would try to plan on taking a little bit of profit at 55 bucks. And then Terry takes some more profit when we get down to 50 or close to 50, maybe like 51, 52 bucks, if you're able to get that for your short there. Altcoin Oracle says could be bullish. Yeah, you never know. Donald Trump is like a wild card, and he does pay attention to the markets. And if things get too bearish, he will come in and try to save the markets. DZ says, dude, where's my bio support at? You think ETH and Sol are done this run? Hype is in the future. Okay. XRP gonna take Ethereum's place? Oh man. Tell that to Porky. See how he feels about that. Why XLM pumped today and XRP? Well, I think it was in the charts for XLM to do that. Like XLM already has, was already suppressed as is already for for a while there. But XLM, what did XLM do here? Let's get rid of the VRVP indicator. But there was a lot of bullish divergence here on XLM. Let me see if I can show that to you here with the RSI. Like you had like the lowest low on the RSI here, February 5th. And then you've been making higher lows here, showing that there's bulls are stepping up to the plate here. However, you were still making lower lows on the price. So the bullish divergence actually finally played out here on Stellar Lumens here on XLM. I think that's why you saw the markup on XLM here. The bulls were stepping up to the plate to try and buy XLM. So after being suppressed and making bullish divergence, they're finally trying to make a run up to higher prices here. And now XLM, I was saying this earlier, like we saw XLM, we had a request for XLM earlier by Crypto Cruise. It was at like 1.168 pennies earlier in the live stream, and now we're at like 17 cents. And I was trying to tell Crypto Cruise, because he was thinking about shorting. I said, hold off on the short. Like I get the idea of why you want to short, but XLM had the momentum to go up to higher levels there. Okay, look at this. Get around the money flow. You had the green buy dot here last Thursday, momentum to the upside, and then money flow is also creeping up to the upside as well on the daily time frame. So the win is to the back. The win is at the back for the longs, for the bulls here on XLM. The momentum is to the upside, and then here on the MACD, selling pressure was dying down. You got the MACD crossover to the upside on Tuesday, and buying pressure showing up. And I was like, unless we get an immediate Uno reverse, I think XLM could squeeze out another penny or two here. And by going up another penny or two, that would put you up against this 200-day moving average. I think this is where you want to short XLM. I think XLM might still try to buck the trend here, even though the rest of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and them all are trying to go down to lower levels here. XLM might actually creep up to higher prices in the meantime. Alright, so thank you for the excitement here. Nick says, time for Shiba to shine. Is that a request for Shiba Inu? Let me know. I think I might be able to do 1 or 2 more requests, and then that's going to be it for me today. We try to go live for like 2 hours here. I've been live for almost an hour and 45 minutes now. Let's see, let me go back to my YouTube guys here. So there you go, DZ. That's why I think XLM pumped, because XRP was also, I mean, you said why XLM over XRP? Because XLM's already had bad days, and it was having a bunch of bad days, but it was still getting bullish divergence showing up here on the chart. And now the bullish divergence is playing out to the upside. XRP, you know, XRP was showing signs of life, and already had some of its best days here on, you know, May 14th. It got up to like $1.55 here. So that's what's going on here. But like, it's different cryptos, right? The XLM and XRP, although they're similar, they're not really they don't trade the same all the time. Like going on to the XRP chart here, look at this, you know, the momentum. What is momentum doing? Momentum's been going to the downside since May 17th, but you had that MACD crossover to the downside. Selling pressure here, and selling pressure was trying to die down, and then it started increasing again here on XRP. So XRP does not have the momentum that XLM has right now. And as far as like money flow goes, like your money flow, your momentum started going down to the downside on May 16th. You got the red sell dot here, the gray stuff going down. Hyperwave also negative, going down. And you've been having negative money flow on XRP since May 15th. So that's why XLM is outperforming XRP, because it just looks better on the charts versus XRP. Let's see, altcoin says stop loss hit today on your short on Shiba. So Shiba. Alright, let's look at Shiba then, alright? Let's look at the Shiba real quick, and then I'm going to probably look at Bitcoin one more time, give you out my closing thoughts, and then that's going to be it for today, guys. Shiba Inu, currently at 543. Your stop loss got hit on a short on Shiba. Hopefully it was in profit, because Shiba Inu has been going down the last few days here. So you should have been making money, not getting stomped out. But we got a guy here that says Shiba Inu is this time to shine for Shiba Inu. Let's see if that's going to be the case here. Looks like my DeluxeAlgo indicators here was showing that there's a bullish divergence here. I was trying to tell you the super long Shiba Inu back here on March 10th, and then another long signal here on March 30th. So far, you haven't had any short signals here, but Shiba Inu was creeping up to high prices. I don't know why we didn't get a short signal here. Sometimes the signal indicator needs to see a few parameters get checked off and crossed off before it fires off the short signal. But would have been nice if it did, because I mean that was the top right there for now on Shiba Inu on the daily time frame. I bet you if I went to like a 4-hour time frame, it probably set a short there. No, I would have lost at that on the 4-hour time frame. That's interesting. No short signal there. 1-hour time frame. I don't know if I'm gonna get that. I would have to probably. I mean, it probably was, but like this only shows me like the only so many candles behind before it erases the previous data. If I go in and I could change it where I could probably get that signal showing up here, but I don't want to do that right now in the stream. I'm gonna just go back to the daily time frame. So far I don't see any short signals here on Shiba Inu, even though it looked like it would have played out. It has been playing out to the downside here. What is going on with momentum? Selling pressure is trying to die off here on Shiba Inu. Looks like you've seen the worst of the selling pressure on May 19th, and then it started dying off here. However, just because you got the trend going up here doesn't mean that we can't see selling pressure start increasing again. That has happened before in the past, where you see selling pressure die off, only for it to start increasing again. So, you know, you can't just rely on the fact like, oh, it means we're gonna go up now. It means we might, most likely might be going up to higher prices if the selling pressure continues to die off here. But if the selling pressure starts increasing again, then yeah, you'll see Shiba Inu go down to low prices. But this is good to see. This is like showing you a trend for higher prices is possible there, even though the price is going down. And let's see what is going on here with the other momentum indicator. Here on the money flow indicator, you got a red sell dot here on May 12th. Momentum came down. That was enough to bring the money flow from green into red here. Money flow is currently in the red. Momentum is still kind of trending towards the downside here. I think I'm going to go with this indicator saying that, you know, Shiba Inu will probably go down lower prices here. Even though the MACD is trying to say, hey, you know, we have potential to go up. I don't know if the selling pressure is dying off quick enough. Because if it's not going to die off quick enough, you can still see selling pressure die down while still going down at lower prices here. Okay? And then you can see it go down even further. If we get a big swoosh down, then you're going to see the selling pressure just start increasing again. So I don't know. I don't know about Shiba Inu going to higher prices here. It needs to start doing that like right now. If we're gonna go with the higher prices, we need to see that right now. We need to hopefully make this a higher low compared to what we did here on March 8th. We got as low as 522. Don't go to 522. I mean, you could probably go there and do a double bottom, and maybe things could change. But you start losing 522, and then now you're making a lower low versus what you did here in March, and that's. The bear is going to be like, how can you say you're bullish if you're making lower lows? You need to at least make higher lows to shut the bears up. Prussia says, you're going to keep it real with you, sell before too late. Yeah, there's nothing left for me to sell. I'm in cash and tether for right now, so I already did my selling last year. I did the last bit of selling. I did sell a little bit of Solana and a little bit of Sui in January during that little relief rally that we got on Bitcoin. And I was happy to get that because I felt like it was just going to be a relief rally, and it was. And the reason why I sold my Solana and Sui in January instead of selling it, you know, in like October or November of last year or December, because I didn't want to sell too much money and then be on the hook for a bunch of taxes on all the profit that I made. So by me selling in January, I was able to, you know, as far as the tax man is concerned, I don't owe money on those taxes until next year. So that was like a tax play that I did in January. Nick says accumulation. Altcoin Oracle says set up the short. Shiba Inu was good, but New York was choppy and hit stop loss. Okay. Damn, that sucks. I think you could still try to short Shiba Inu. Maybe you can try to get it on the next lower high. But we're looking at Bitcoin right now. Big picture view. Bitcoin could come down to that 100 moving average at 72,900. Right now, momentum on the daily time frame is not looking good on the MACD indicator. Selling pressure is starting to increase again after try to die down here this weekend. You know, when they say, oh yeah, we got 95% completion on the peace deal here, and then they launched missiles at Iran the next day, and then Iran says that you know, that they're gonna try to get revenge for that. And now Donald Trump's like, I don't think we're gonna get a peace deal this week or anytime soon, but I'm willing to wait out Iran, and I don't care about the midterm elections because I'm not running for election. He didn't say that, but basically he is. You can read between the lines, that's basically what he was saying. But then Donald Trump said, but if need be, we will, I'll read it to you right now. He said either that or we'll have to just finish the job. So finishing the job, the market's like, oh my god, finishing the job means they're going to go back to shooting each other again. And that's why we're seeing a red day here in cryptocurrency. That's why, for my YouTube guys, you can see me wearing the red shirt in support of the red week that we're getting here on Bitcoin. Are we in the red for the week? Let's take a look. As the weekly candle, yeah, we got a red candle here on the week. So, you know, I'm in support of the bears right now and the red candles that we got. For my TikTok guys, let me go ahead and flip the camera here. So you can see, like, yeah, I'm wearing a red shirt right now because we are having a red day and a red week here on Bitcoin and crypto. And this is the red shirt. You see me with the Meet Damien, you know, profile picture up there. Don't forget to click on that and follow me here on TikTok at the actual Meet Damien here, because there are some people trying to pretend to be me and use my good name here. And they're going to try to scam you, and I'm not going to scam you. I'm not going to message you guys first. That's why you got to follow me here and then message me, and then I'll get to you. Especially if you guys send me a message, I'll at least respond back to it. But I'm not going to just come out here and try to make new friends with people I never met. You know, I do like to have new friends, but I'm not just go out here and say, yeah, you're my new friend. Here, come sign up for this. Sign up for that and give me your personal information and know your, you know, like that's ridiculous. But I guess some people fall for it, and that's what the scammers, they come out and they try to use my good name to try and do that to people. All right, anyways, Bitcoin at 74,160. We went a little bit lower, yeah, week. I want to get into, let's go back to the daily chart here. If for some reason Bitcoin's able to get bullish, if for some reason we get a peace deal tomorrow, then yeah, you'll probably see 80k Bitcoin. 80k Bitcoin will put you above that 200 moving average here. And that's a daily time frame. If we can get above that 200-day moving average and stay above it, I would flip from bearish to bullish on Bitcoin. And I'd be like, you know what, guys? I thought 40k could have been a possibility here, but looks like Bitcoin is actually going to be bullish here because the war is coming to an end here in Iran. And everybody's holding hands and singing Kumbaya, and we can actually see higher prices here for Bitcoin. But because we're not getting that, I think Bitcoin, if it does come up to that 2-day moving average, it will probably get rejected at 79,975, or basically 80k is where I'd be looking to enter a short on Bitcoin if we do get up to that level. Right now, I am entertaining the idea of doing scalp longs right now. But we don't really have moving average support here on the daily time frame until we get down to like 73k here, which is that blue line right there. So maybe this stops the bleeding, you know, in the near term here. I'm not sure what would be the reason besides the 100 moving average being there, but maybe Donald Trump later on this week says, "Oh yeah, we're 99% complete towards getting a peace deal here," which is a lot better than last weekend when we were at 95%. And then the market's like, "Oh my god, buy, buy, buy," and they'll juice up the algorithms and the trading bots. Yeah. That might be the reason why we get a bounce off this 100 moving average here on Bitcoin. So be on the lookout for that, 73K. Also, if I just zoom out here and I turn the VRVP indicator, I think there is something here at 73K. Something here, a little bit something here at 73K, but most of the volume here sitting at like 70K. Okay, and for sure there's a lot of volume here at 68K, 67K, somewhere in this area here. That is probably going to be where most of the bleeding comes to a stop. But I mean, that's what, six more grand below us, 6,000 points below us. We could probably see Bitcoin come down to that level before we get a bounce. And that's not going to happen overnight unless I mean, if Bitcoin drops down to 66K overnight, it's because we're going back to war again. Yeah, that will cause. If we see like the United States start doing military strikes on Iran for more than just one day, then you'll see that Bitcoin dropping down to 66K in no time. Yeah. But let's get into the 1 hour time frame, which is my day trading time frame. I like to start off at. I like to see what the levels to look for here. And I also like to see what the momentum is doing. What is momentum here doing? MACD on the 1 hour time frame showing that there is selling pressure here. And when selling pressure tries to die down, it starts increasing again. So that's no bueno. Alright, and then here on the money flow indicator, money flow has been negative on the 1 hour time frame since Tuesday morning. Momentum, this gray stuff, is to the downside. However, you did get a green buy dot. I'm not sure how strong that's going to be, but you did get a green buy dot. Right when I started the live stream, you got the green buy dot. And I thought that was going to be enough for us to see higher prices here on Bitcoin, but then Bitcoin came and took my stop loss out and decided to go down to 74,000. Hey, we came down to $74,023 right now. Jesus. So even if I kept my stop loss, when I entered the long on Bitcoin, I entered at 74,400. I put the stop loss at 74K. I probably could have got stopped out, yeah, or I would get stopped out if I kept my stop loss at 74,000. I moved the stop loss to 74,200, right below this candlewick low here, and yeah, Bitcoin actually stopped me out, and I think we could still be heading down to lower prices here. Go back to the momentum indicators. Yeah, I already showed you the momentum indicators. But let's look at the 15-minute time frame. Get into smaller time frames here. So what else we can see here? Another green buy dot here. Yeah, maybe Bitcoin is going to try to climb back up to my break-even price, but I already got stopped out, so I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Maybe I could enter a short on Bitcoin instead. 15-minute time frame. Let's see. MACD indicator. Selling pressure dying off. I'm trying to get a little bit of buying pressure, but the buying pressure is just so damn weak here. Not enough to do anything, in my opinion. Here. Not like you saw earlier this afternoon, or like, you know, last night. Funny enough, here on the 15-minute time frame, you are getting long signals here. Will it finally play out? I mean, you were getting long signals back here, only for you to get a short signal and get sent right back down to hell again. I think what I would like to do, since I already got knocked out of a long, I don't know if I'm going to enter a long again. But what I would like to see is if Bitcoin can get up to this white line here, maybe try to enter a short. And if we get up to this green line, I would be a lot more interested in entering a short at that green line. That's at 74,700. I don't know. If you want to scalp, you could try to scalp, but I think the most you're gonna get is this white line at 74,380, or the green line at 74,700, and that's it. And then I would look to try to reverse it and go into a short, playing the 50-minute moving averages here. Altcoin Oracle says if you lose 74K, you're going to be a big short. And you would like the long from 76K. That's it, yeah, if we can get back up to 76K, maybe we can start looking for longs again. But I was just trying to enter a scalp long, and I got stopped out for a small loss. Maybe if we come back to 74K, maybe I might try to scalp it one more time for a long. We're at 74,150. I would like to see 74,000, like less than 74,100 for this scalp long. Go to the 5-minute time frame. Anything different here on the 5-minute time frame? Selling pressure trying to die off a little bit. Green buy dot. So we are seeing green buy dots on some of these time frames here. And bullish divergence. Higher lows after making lower lows on the price. Maybe if we make one more lower low on the, if we can make one more lower low on price and create some more bullish divergence on the RSI, maybe I could enter a long on Bitcoin for a scalp long. But you can see like here, like we're not able to get above these moving averages, so like the upside is very, very limited here on Bitcoin. It makes a lot more sense to try to short it than it does the long. But shorting, I would wait until you get above these moving averages here. We could just possibly be just creating another bear flag here on Bitcoin on our way down to lower prices here. We see overall like the trend is still down to the right. Every now and then they come and try to take the stop losses out on the shorts, only for them to bring it back down again. Yeah, altcoin, I was thinking about maybe greens into long. If we get back down to 74K or a little bit below 74K. You like to buy, you want to buy the fear. That's why earlier today I was like, oh my god, like this afternoon when I was getting out of the gym, I was like, people are probably getting scared right now. Let me see if this holds here for a little bit and then I can enter a long. I did. But we're just not getting any lift off. We're not getting a bounce here. We're just slowly bleeding out, which doesn't help me as far as like doing a scalp long. If we're gonna continue to bleed out, that means we're just gonna most likely hit my stop loss. Oh, we got MMA Squire showing up in the chat. Right when I'm about to end the live stream, we've been live for about 2 hours here. MMA Squire. Let me see what my YouTube guys are saying. Sincere82, good evening to you as well. I'll say about ending the live stream here. We just finished talking about Bitcoin for like the second or third time here. And Mario just joined, all right. So guys, I actually am going to try to close up shop here and end the live stream here. Appreciate Mario coming in, giving the high fives, the waves there. We'll listen to some music on the way out. And yeah, we'll plan on doing this again same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern time to 10 p.m. Eastern time is when I usually go live. And I try to start on time at like 8 p.m. Eastern time. So let's plan on doing this again tomorrow. We'll see what Bitcoin decides to do between now and the next live stream. But yeah, guys, I wish you guys the best of luck in your trades here. I'm wondering if there is a bullish asset. I think Injective was like the most bullish this week. Let's see if Injective is still being bullish on the daily time frame here. No, even Injective is getting knocked down today as well. So it's hard to be bullish when Bitcoin is dropping down. Yeah, that's for sure. All right, guys, let's plan on doing this again tomorrow, same time. Looking forward to seeing you guys. And for those who want to continue talking to me and chatting with me when I'm not live, if you go to the Meet Damien Discord for my TikTok guys, you got the don't forget to follow me here. You got the Discord link right there, but also you can click on the Meet Damien Linktree link. Click on that in the bio. It takes you over to the Meet Damien Linktree, and right there is that first that first link right there is the Discord server. Free to join, and it takes you over to the invite to go into Meet Damien Discord, where you can see when I go live, and also continue the conversation here, sharing your trades here, your funny memes if possible, and just rubbing elbows and talking to the other traders and investors that are in the Meet Damien community here. Okay? But yeah, guys, let's plan on doing this tomorrow. See you guys same time. Take care.